All right, welcome to the week 13 recap. As usual, we're going to go over the account activity and then look at the overall account balance. So to kick off, we sold another NVIDIA put, April 4th expiration, 105 strike price, 469. So I'll pop it open so you can see the details as usual. There's commission. Fidelity has to get their cut. So the total cash received is 68.32. Then on Monday, with our usual buys of CGDV and DIVB. Again, not really sure why they split CGDV into three different transactions, but that's what they did. And then as it's the end of the month, we get the money market interest, SPACs. So that was $66.49. And then to kind of close the month, close the week's activity, we had SCHD quarterly dividend. Okay, so the dividend was about 25 cents per share. So that netted us $77.25. And as with all dividends, that's reinvested. So that reinvestment of $77.25 bought an additional 2.798 shares at a cost of $27.60 per share. Okay, so whatever we had, prior to March 31st, we now have, about 2.8 more shares than we had before. So again, without putting, any kind of new capital, new money into SCHD, we're still building our quantity. We're still building our share count. And in what's kind of been a down year so far, we're kind of accelerating that the amount of shares. And so when SCHD does recover, we'll be in an even better position for growth. So that wraps up the activity for the week. Taking a look at the account, some call outs. So SCHD, again, in week 12, we were about, for pretty much the entire year to date, we were at about 310.5 shares. And you can kind of see in the update, we now are about 313.3 shares. So that definitely helped year to date growth. So that's just a hair under 3% growth, total growth for the year. JEPQ, again, kind of still struggling a bit. So despite 3 dividends so far, you can see it's pretty negative. But again, I think that the long-term view, as is with a lot of these ETFs, is that it's a down year. You're getting cheaper shares, more shares, and then when you bounce back, you'll be in even better position. Okay, so kind of JEPQ is down, probably the biggest kind of overall negative, single negative for the account in terms of total dollar loss year to date. And then FNILX, again, similar to the SPY, so that's down as well. And then you have the two individual stocks, Apple and Microsoft, down about double digits. So I mean, no big surprise. The overall market, especially the Mag 7, has had a tough start to the year. And then we have our kind of new to the account ETF, so DIVB, CGDV. So that down about $10 and $20 respectively compared to their overall cost basis. So again, still early in the year, and again, as I kind of just mentioned, we're getting cheaper cheaper shares, so that will definitely recover. But as you can see, there the individual and combined percent of the account is going to again grow every week, and then eventually, like maybe next week or two, they will surpass Apple and Microsoft as a percent of the overall account pie. And then lastly, we have our NVIDIA put. Again, I mentioned in the activity section that was sold for about $69. It's now at a value of 80. So Nvidia has been sliding down a bit. So as the price goes down and their volatility goes up, the price of the option will increase. As a seller, you want it to decrease, but we know that just given the volatility, there's going to be ups and downs. So to kind of close out, that brings our total to about $45,094, which year to date that represents a gain of $303, just rounding, with growth of 0.68% year to date. So, as I mentioned, again, many times in the past, I think given the overall market's down about, let's say the overall market, kind of the S&P 500 is down about 4%, being flat year to date or slightly above is definitely not a bad position to be in. Having having the cash, but also then deploying the cash into dollar cost averaging on ETFs. So that wraps up week 13. You know, I say, like I always say, every week is gonna, is volatility kind of continues to be the theme. So just gonna kind of again stick to the plan. Hope everyone has a great week, and on to the next.